This video is brought to you by Skillshare. Welcome to episode 4 of Must Have Mods. The theme of today's episode, atmosphere. Because who doesn't like getting lost in a world with a thick atmosphere? Let's first start with the NPCs, cause there's no use in having an atmospheric world without anyone in it. So let's stuff it with loads of people. Citizens of Tamriel is a mod, but just not any mod. It adds 43 new fully voiced NPCs you can encounter in the world. But unlike most NPCs in Skyrim, they actually have personality.
I'm a construct, of course. Designation 67A44L.
Error. Failed to retrieve designation number.
It's far too common in vanilla Skyrim to see one or two dialogue options that lead to the same outcome. It's almost like we have no choice. But thankfully, this isn't the case with Citizens of Tamriel, because dialogue with these NPCs branch off in a number of ways, finally giving the player a chance to actually roleplay. The mod pays homage to other titles like Baldur's Gate, Fallout, and Dragon Age, so ultimately, it injects some of that old school RPG dialogue Skyrim desperately needed. And by some, I mean over 7 hours of professional quality dialogue. Yeah, that's quite a bit. But let's go the extra mile and install Citizens of Tamriel Visual Overhaul to add even more personality to these characters. But to give familiar faces a lore-friendly makeover, we need elevated NPCs. In my opinion, this is one of the best NPC replacers to date. Every face has so much life and detail put into them, and their new look reflects their identity and personality. Mjol the Lioness looks extremely kind, but at the same time, a little dumb. Maybe it's just me. Looks can get a little subjective, but that's the vibe I'm getting at least. However, Maven Blackbriar looks like she's about to ask for the innkeeper, and the head of the Bard's College, Viamro, well, he do be looking kinda fine. But we need more diversity, so grab Beards of Power and Sons of Skyrim to add beards to some males. Bosmer NPCs have antlers because antlers are cool and lore-friendly. Beast HHBB to add new hairs, brows, and facial hairs to Argonians and Khajiits. And finally, Project Jakajay to bring the other missing species of Khajiit into the game. Now, feel free to install any other NPC replacers like Vaadin, Pandorable NPCs, Bijin NPCs, etc. Of course, there will be a lot of overlap between these replacers, but we can now use EasyNPC to mix, merge, and resolve conflicts for all our NPC replacers. It takes some time to go through each NPC picking their final look, but you'll have full control over how they'll look. Again, looks are subjective. Some people may prefer their elderly NPCs to look a little wrinkly, while others want them to look like shriveled up grapes instead. Some prefer their followers to have a natural grounded look, while others want a harem of models. It's all up to you with the use of this tool. Ad time. Hello, Forsworn! Have you heard of Skillshare?
What in oblivion is Skillshare?
Skillshare is the best online learning platform, with thousands of courses and classes to help you learn, explore, and discover skills.
What kind of skills can I learn?
There's something for everyone. Looking to learn self-improvement, drawing, music, business, or any other skills? Well, Skillshare has got you covered.
Wow! What have you learned from Skillshare?
To improve my editing skills, I've been watching Oliver Astrologo's class on video editing in DaVinci Resolve, and it's helped me tremendously to improve my workflow and efficiency. Skillshare is also very affordable, but the first 1,000 people to use the link in the description or my code will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare.
Sure's blood!
So click on the link in the description and join Skillshare today! Let's talk about environmental mods. Now, these mods can easily make or break the atmosphere of your game. In my opinion, a combination of Realistic Water 2, Cathedral Weathers, and Rudy E&B for Cathedral Weathers looks amazing, while still providing good performance so my poor graphics card doesn't melt. But I've also slapped on my own customized Rudy's Reshade preset for some finishing touches. I find not enough people run E&B with Reshade, but more really should. Because if you've already got an E&B, having a reshade preset on top doesn't really hurt performance, and it can really improve the look and feel of your game. For our main texture replacer, let's use Skyland AIO. a wonderful mega pack of textures created from 3D scans of real-world surfaces to give us the most realistic textures. For plants and trees, let's use Skyrim 3D landscapes, QW's Grass Patch, Happy Little Trees, Bent Pines 2, and Blubbo's Aspen Replacers. Now, I know it's a lot, but I've spent hundreds of hours looking for a good combination of tree and plant mods. And trust me, this is not a rabbit hole you want to go down. But to truly overhaul Skyrim's atmosphere, we're going to have to touch its cities and villages. I found JK Skyrim plus Cities of the North to be a good combination for cities, and JK Skyrim plus the Great Village and Town series to be the best for villages and towns. When put together, these mods drastically change the overall atmosphere of the world, and locations will now have very different but unique identities to them. But as I was overhauling populated areas, two thoughts popped into my mind. Where does everyone shit? And how do they do their laundry? There aren't any toilets or hanging laundry in Skyrim. I don't know about you guys, but I can't overlook these drastic issues. So let's install Duty and Immersive Laundry to fix this conundrum. Now, I know what you're thinking. Mern, you've officially gone loopy. And maybe you're right, but I don't care what anyone says. There's nothing more atmospheric than hearing NPCs take a shit. Oh yeah, also install Embers XD to overhaul fire sources, and Simplicity of Snow to remove snow under roofs. For our lighting mods, grab Lux, Lux Orbis, Lux Via, E&B Light, and EVLAS for volumetric lighting. Now, I'm sure all of you have experienced the dreaded 4 light limit bug that's hard-coded into the game. Every time I see this bug, a part of my soul leaves my body. This is actually a very big reason why I don't run with standard lighting mods like RLO or ELFX. However, you'll encounter this issue less frequently when using Lux, because it takes advantage of the latest developments of E&B, including E&B Light. So, unless you want to risk having seizures, I highly recommend you use Lux. There's a war raging in the Skyrim community. We all know statue replacers are essential to overhauling the game's atmosphere, but they have always been quite polarizing. On one hand, we have the lore-friendly purists, and on the other, the big-titty degenerates. There is no in-between. But as a rare, unbiased member of the community, I thought it'd be best to showcase both sides and help you, the viewer, decide on which path to take. For the purists, Mandragora Sprouts is your best option. They've sculpted wonderfully detailed statues, with some added into the world, so it's not just replacers. Honestly speaking though, they're extremely talented, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if they were offered a job at Bethesda. They haven't completed all the statues yet, but they have been consistently releasing more and more statues, so I'd keep your eye on them if you're a purist. But for you devious degenerates, PS Boss is your best option. They too haven't completed all the statues, but just like Mandragora Sprouts, they seem to be on a conquest to overhaul all the statues in the game. But of course they've taken a very different approach, and there seems to be nothing that can stop PS Boss's conquest of big titification. They've even gone as far as gender swapping various gods, and replacing the Night Mother. I guess only time will tell the victor of this war. Guys, sometimes it's the little things that count. So here are some small visual mods to help breathe more life into your game. Nocturnal Moths is a neat little mod that adds moths to lanterns with animations and sound effects. As a nice little touch, moths will only appear during the night under favorable weather, and they'll even react and fly away if you get too close. Begone! What you say? But while moths appear during the night, let's install Flying Crows to make flocks of crows appear during the day. Flying Crows also comes complete with animations and sound effects, and it will really help you strengthen Skyrim's Nordic atmosphere. To add a sense of mystery to the world, let's layer up some fog and mist. I found a combination of morning fogs, obsidian mountain fogs, and volumetric mists to work really well. Though the atmosphere can get pretty thick at times, it'll help make the world feel more alive. But we're not done yet. To make the world feel even more lively and dynamic, be sure to grab Wonders of Weather to add rainbows, rain splashes, and shooting stars into your game. True Storms to make storms more intense. GKB Waves to add animated waves to coasts. Immersive Fallen Trees to make forests feel more natural while providing convenient ways to travel across rivers. And last but not least, volcanic tundra, to add heatwave effects to volcanic pools. Alright, we're getting to a point where our world is bursting with atmosphere, but to put a cherry on top, let's install immersive sounds to completely overhaul vanilla sound effects and sounds of Skyrim to add new ambient sound effects. These two mods improve the overall sound design and help locations feel much more atmospheric. Whether you're in a fight, walking through a city, or exploring a dungeon, it'll be more immersive than ever. Now, I'm sure there are many more mods you could add to what I've listed, but the combination of mods showcased in this video serves as a great foundation to expand upon. I will admit, however, that it might take some time to get this list working properly, because you need quite a lot of patches to make these mods run smoothly together, so just keep this in mind when installing large mods like Lux and Cities of the North. But thankfully they have faux mods to automatically detect which mods you already have, so installing patches shouldn't be too cumbersome. But to help make it easier for you guys, I'll also be adding a patch section in the description of this video, so check it out if you decide to install this list. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Also, consider supporting the channel on Patreon. My patrons help make it possible for me to keep producing the content you're watching while I study at uni. Take care, lads and lasses. See you next time.
Shore's blood.